Hey everyone! First I want to say a big thank you to everyone who subbed. We've reached 100 subscribers last week, which is really awesome. So thanks a lot, and let's get into today's video. It's already been 3 weeks since the last devlog, so I've got a couple new things to show you. If you haven't seen the last devlogs, I recommend you go check them out before watching this one. The link will be in the description as always. Last time, we added some of the last systems we were missing to have a finished game, like weight and durability. Today, we're gonna start by doing the same and implementing the quantity system. Alright, so currently, if I go to any market, I can purchase an unlimited quantity of the items. Of course, I'm limited by my gold and weight capacity, but let's say I was fully upgraded, well, I could just buy 1 billion apples from here and carry that around. The goal is for each item to have a maximum stock. Markets will only store a maximum number of these items equal to their max stock. There are a couple of reasons as to why I want to implement a system like that. First, it kind of forces the player to explore everywhere instead of constantly trading between the two same cities. Another reason is that if the player finds a super profitable trade route, I don't want them to just constantly go back and forth and make loads of money forever without effort. The profitable route will make them a bunch of gold, but after a while, they'll have to leave and find other trades to do. The implementation for this is pretty simple. Just create a simple variable that will keep the max and current stocks. Every time the player buys an item, we remove it from the stock, and every set amount of time, the market restocks one item. Of course, I'll have to play with the restock rate until I find something that feels right. Alright, time to test this. Oh, I forgot to make the text update. Okay, this was not the expected outcome. Okay, let's just pretend like nothing happened. So now, when I open a market, all the items have a quantity. Apples start at 100, so if I buy 12, only 88 are left. I can travel for a little bit, and when I come back, the market has started restocking and 89 apples are available. This works as intended, but I noticed a little bug during that testing. When I got to the gold loss event, my card kept moving in the background, even though the event pop-up was supposed to stop the game. So I went and fixed that. And with that, time to move on to another feature the game is missing: idle progress. It's been a while since I've talked about idle mechanics, so here's a little explanation of how I want it to work. There will be a special building on the map, something like a merchant's guild or whatever. The name is yet to be decided. This building will contain various upgrades that will generate gold for the player while the game is closed. Most of it will be based on real-world time, like getting 100 gold every real-life hour that passes, for example. I'm sure you're all pretty familiar with this, as pretty much every single mobile game has this kind of mechanics nowadays. Upgrades here will be pretty expensive, so they're going to be a good goal to aim for. Before we get into it though, only about 10% of you are subscribed, so please, like the video and subscribe to the channel, that way you won't miss any future episodes. Thanks! I started by placing this sprite that will act as our idle building for now. First up, some UI design. I quickly sketched up what I wanted the UI to look like beforehand. A cool thing I'd like to add to the game is a leaderboard. Inside the guild, there could be like a treasure room. All the gold you put there is gone forever, but the online leaderboard will track who stashed the most gold. This would add a small sense of competition between players and give objectives for players who manage to buy every single possible upgrade eventually. The UI also needs a section to buy upgrades, a button to collect amassed gold, and a small section with idle earning stats. Time to create this UI. I started with the inventory UI since it already had a few components that we want, like an item section and a stat section. I modified everything to be able to fit my buttons, but I ran into multiple problems which transformed this seemingly simple task into something far more tedious than what I had expected. Most of the UI windows I did earlier in the series have a very bad structure, and that's mostly thanks to me being very inexperienced with how front-end styling works. Anyways, after managing to place everything in a way I liked, I created our 2 buttons, and I also changed the stats label to display stuff that will interest us in this window. Now time to code this UI. The first step is to create the various upgrades that are going to be purchasable from this window. So far, the only 2 I can think of are maximum AFK gold capacity and gold gain per hour speed. I created these upgrades using the already existing upgrade script I made a couple episodes ago. I also reused most of the logic from the upgrade menu to create the upgrade code for our idle building. Ooh, silly me, I forgot to add a way to open this menu. Okay, time to test for real. So the window opens, but we've already got a few major problems. The upgrade buttons are not displayed and the stats labels are not showing the right text. Okay, attempt number 2 is a success text-wise, but our upgrades still don't show up. Third time's the charm as usual, and our upgrades now display properly. Now time to actually implement the idle aspect of this. I'll have to read a bit on using real-world time in the game first though. Alright, now we have the necessary knowledge to start working on this. First step, store the time at which the player last closed the game. Then, when we reopen the game, we check the current time and we get the difference by comparing it to the saved time. With that difference, we can calculate how much money we should put in the coffer. Now we need to display this gold, so I changed the format of the UI a little bit to display the current gold. Alright, let's check this in action and see if it works. For starters, I set the gold per hour to 60, so we should get 1 gold every 60 seconds in the coffer. The coffer should also cap at 10 gold, so the gains should stop after 10 seconds. Okay, so it seems to work, but we get 1 gold per 6 seconds instead of 1 per second. I'm a bit confused. Okay, so I just spent 10 minutes looking for the bug, but turns out my brain is the bug. 60 gold per hour is 1 gold a minute, not 1 gold per second. It still doesn't make sense why it increments every 6 seconds though, so let's try to fix that. Okay, so I set the rate to 360 gold per hour, which is actually 1 gold per second, and let's test it again. Now the call is being made every second properly, but the gold isn't going up as fast as it should. Okay, I don't know what I changed, but now the coffer contains negative 2 billion gold. That's gonna take a long time to pay off. Good, I fixed everything, and now, as we can see, we get 1 gold every second. Once the coffer is full, the gold stops accumulating and we can collect it. Great! The other thing I need to implement in that window is the guild's coffer. However, since this will also require me setting up an online leaderboard, I will keep this for a future video while I figure out how to link up to Google Play servers. And with that, I think that's pretty much every single mechanic I want in this game implemented. Now comes the fun part. We can actually start creating new items, upgrades, and we can also start developing and expanding the game world. If you've got any idea for events or items you'd like to see in the game, please do let me know in the comments and I'll gladly add them to the game. I'm also looking to add more city types or biomes and more item types in general, so whatever your suggestions might be, please leave them in the comments. There's still a bunch of work left to do though. A lot of it is technical, so I won't really talk about it, but everything related to ads and microtransactions will be put in future devlogs. Here's a short list of the last things I have to do. Set up the online leaderboard, set up saving and loading data, add more items and upgrades, build the world, make the visuals and UI look nicer, implement ads and rewarded ads, implement microtransactions, try and make the game compatible with iOS. There's also the whole premium currency thing that I haven't touched yet. I'm not sure it's gonna stay in the game, we'll have to see, I might scrap it. If you haven't seen last week's short video, I explained that you'll probably be seeing our mobile game a bit less from now on, since technical stuff is going to take me a long time to make, but I'm not gonna be making content out of it since it's pretty boring to watch. However, I already have my next devlog series planned out and I'm super excited to start sharing it with all of you. That's it for me this week, thanks a lot for watching, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, follow me on Twitter, leave a comment, but most importantly, stay hydrated and I will see you next week. Bye!